सह मंत्री श्री कैलाश चौधरी जी, सचिव डॉक्टर टी महापात्रा जी, निर्देशक डॉक्टर अशोक कुमार सिंह, आज स्नातकोत्सव में भाग लेने वाले सभी अध्यापक और उनको आज पुरस्कार मिला, पुरस्कार ग्रहीता और ग्रेजुएट्स, उनका पेरेंट्स और विशेष रूप में आए हुए कुछ किसान प्रतिनिधि और मेरा युवा मित्रों, यह मेरे लिए हर्ष का विषय है कि मुझे कृषि अनुसंधान और शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में देश के प्रतिष्ठित भारतीय कृषि अनुसंधान संस्थान के 58वें दीक्षांत समारोह में आप सबके बीच में उपस्थित होने का अवसर प्राप्त हुआ है। सचमुच में मैं बहुत हर्ष महसूस कर रहा हूँ। आई फील वेरी हैप्पी। Because this institute and this subject is very dear to my heart, because agriculture is the basic culture of India. With all the scientific, technological, industrial advancement, even today nearly 60% of the Indian population, they live on agriculture and agriculture allied activities. देश के लिए जो अन्न प्रदान करने वाले अन्नदाता किसान इसको हम कहते हैं, उनके बारे में, उनके हित में अध्ययन करना, परिशोधन करना और नया उपाय, नया सदुपाय, नया ऑल्टरनेटिव्स बताने वाले संस्था, इसलिए इसका स्नातकोत्सव में आके सचमुच में मन में बहुत आनंद हो रहा है। इस शुभ अवसर पर स्नातक और डॉक्टरेट की उपाधि प्राप्त करने वाले मेधावी छात्रों को हार्दिक बधाई और भावी सफलताओं के लिए शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। आई विश ऑल दीज यंगस्टर्स who are getting graduated and also who have been awarded medals, I would like to wish them all the best. God bless you for a bright future. देश आयरी के उपलब्धियों पर गर्व करता है, जिसने गेहूं की उन्नत उर्वर किस्में विकसित करके देश में हरित क्रांति का सूत्रपात किया है। हरित क्रांति के बाद भी आयरी का उपलब्धियां उल्लेखनीय रही है। गेहूं और धान का उत्पादन 101 मिलियन टन तथा 115 मिलियन टन तक पहुंच गया है। इसके लिए मैं सबको, संबंधित सभी लोगों को अभिनंदन देना चाहता हूं। देश में उद्यान खाद्यान्न उत्पादन जो 1950-51 में महज 50.82 मिलियन टन था, वह 2018-19 में बढ़कर 283.37 मिलियन टन तक पहुंच गया है, 283.37. It's a remarkable achievement. The advanced crop varieties and technologies developed by the institute have been important in strengthening Indian economy and the prosperity of the farmers. I'm happy to know that the Pusa Basmati varieties predominate Basmati cultivation in India and are helping in securing higher production and profit to the farmers, apart from foreign exchange worth 33,000 crores annually to the country. Similarly, I am told that IRI wheat varieties like HD 2967 and HD 3086 have played a vital role in enhancing wheat production and productivity in India. It is heartening to note that these varieties alone account for more than 12 million hectares of cultivation by farmers and contribute to more than 50% of the country's wheat production. While the position on food front is comfortable, with food grain total production of 283.37 million tons, however, ranks at 102nd in the global hunger index. This is a matter of concern. All of us, from the policy makers to the politicians, to the parliamentarians, and to the people who are working in the extension area and also research centers and the universities, we must all be seriously concerned why we are still at 102nd in the global hunger index. Is there something lacking in policy, in action, in implementation, in prioritization? We must all introspect seriously and address this concern. We have achieved food sufficiency, food security. But mere food security alone will not suffice. You need to have protein security. The food which we are eating is not adding much to the proteinous strength of every individual. And there is a vitamin deficiency in each and every person. If you get it examined somewhere, something is lacking. So this has to be understood, and we must see to it that we address the problem of protein also. And secondly, the other day I was with the Vice President of Vietnam, spent some considerable time. And earlier I have been to Vietnam. I visited certain agriculture fields, made inquiries. To my surprise and also little dismay, the rice is introduced in Vietnam by India, by M.S. Swaminathan. The coffee is introduced by Indians in Vietnam. But what is the why? Then you will say, why dismay? The dismay is rice production in Vietnam per hectare is 10 times more than India. Why? We introduced it, we gave them the knowledge, and we are lagging behind when compared with the country, which is an upcoming small country. So this is the challenge. This is where all these scientists, researchers, who are doing a great job, they must focus their attention and see to it that our production levels are further increased. A country like India with a galloping population, unfortunately nobody is paying attention to the issue of population. Political parties are feeling shy, politicians are feeling shy, the parliament also do not adequately discuss about the issue. And you know how the population is growing, leaps and bounds, creating problems. See the problems in Delhi, traffic, more human beings, more vehicles, more problems, more tension, lesser tension. If you have tension, you cannot pay attention. One is, of course, addressing the issue of population. And secondly, the need for increasing food production, not only for our food security, but also for the security of food security of the world. It's our duty. As a country with agriculture background, we must focus. And you cannot in future, if your population increases like this and you are not able to adequately match it with increase in production, there is a problem. For a country like India, you cannot depend on imported food security. You need to develop homegrown food security at all levels, homegrown food security. That should be the priority for all of us. You are not Dubai. You are not Singapore. You go to Dubai, Singapore, everything in the market will be very fresh, green, leafy vegetables, fruits and all. Most of them are imported. They don't have means of production. But they can import. One is economically rich. Second, their population is limited, requirement is limited. But for us, 130 crore population. We need to come out with more production, more varieties, more qualities, and more nutritious. This is one important aspect I would like to flag before all of you. The alarming prevalence of malnutrition and hidden hunger are matters of grave concern. I am told that more than 80% of the adolescents in India suffer from hidden hunger. This problem has to be addressed on a war footing as youth are the backbone of our nation. Undoubtedly, malnutrition is a serious health issue as it not only increases susceptibility to various issues but also affects the socio-economic growth of the country. Besides launching a massive awareness campaign about nutraceutical and the therapeutic value of agriculture produce, there is a need to increase the production of nutritious food to overcome such problems. And we also have to educate the people adequately about the need to switch to nutritious, proteinous food products rather than simply eating rice. I come from South. Fond of eating morning, lunch, dinner. If there is a chance, in between also rice. Same is the case with regard to wheat. You need to focus more on nutritious food, pulses, cereals, fruits, good vegetables. All these things are required for a healthy diet. Of course, unfortunately, in our country, there's a new problem. The non-communicable diseases are increasing. According to international studies, two reasons. One is the sedentary lifestyle. As I am addressing the future scientists and also present scientists and youngsters, I would try to caution all the youngsters, please look at your lifestyle. No physical activity at all. Mechanical, sedentary. No physical activity. PM has to give a call for Fitness India. Fitness. And then for that, do some physical activity. Want to do yoga, sports, something else, some activity or other. Yoga, fortunately, is catching up worldwide. We should also make yoga part of our daily life. Yoga is an ancient Indian exercise of mind and body. It brings unity of mind and body. If you are physically fit, you will be mentally alert. So yoga is one good thing. I am not forcing you. Yoga is one good thing. Yoga is not connected with any religion or with any region or with any person. Some people say, sir, the yoga has been prescribed by Narendra Bhai Modi. Yoga is for your body, not because of Modi. Do it for yourself. It is good that the Prime Minister has taken initiative to revive this ancient tradition of art and science. Great people, Patanjali, from Patanjali to Baba Ramdev, to Sri Ravi Shankarji, to Pranav Pandya, to many Gayatri Parivar, and to you have Sadhguru Vasudev, lot of people, but it's catching up worldwide. Second is about food. We are all eating junk food, most of. Some of you may not, but most junk food. Particularly youngsters, junk food, pizza, burger. They are not suitable to the Indian conditions. They may be suitable, I don't know whether they are really suitable or not. But we have a weakness, West. Look at the West, nothing wrong. But don't consider West as the only best and leave the rest. We have the best here. The Western food is suitable to the Western people. But we are here. And there is no dearth of food varieties in India. You have thousands of items. Thousands, you can't even count. Because of thousands of years of civilization, our forefathers have prepared, enjoyed, experienced, and recommended food according to season and region, not religion, region. Which area, which temperature, which climate, which food. You have thousands of varieties, but some of the children, because of TV, because of advertisement, some icon saying this is very good and all, You don't eat it. Please understand that icon who is coming for advertisement, they don't test. They only read the text that is given to them because they are paid for it. They are not saying it out of conviction or experience and all. And then we run after those. And also the business, the caterers, and also they have realized, cafeteria people, that the weakness. So they are also coming with new items. Chicken 65. Your age is not even 25. You want to become 65. That's the earliest. Names also Manchuria. When you have Himalaya here, why do you run up Manchuria, Bulgaria, Somalia, as if you don't have? तो इसलिए मेरा सुझाव है भारतीय युवा लोगों को हमारा जीवन पद्धति, go back to our lifestyle, become physically fit, and second, eat whatever food you want. I am not giving you any code of a food code. तो वेजिटेरियन खाना ऐसा कोई जरूर है, वेजिटेरियन खा सकते हैं, नॉन वेजिटेरियन खा सकते हैं, दोनों मिला के भी खा सकते हैं. We are a free country. Your choice is yours. But eat something good food according to season and reason. I am happy to learn significant progress was made by this institute in developing high-yielding, disease-resistant and nutrient-rich varieties of crops. We need to further progress on that front. Disease-resistant and nutrient-rich varieties of crops are the need of the hour. And for the disease and all the pesticides and all we are using. And recent study says one of the reasons for fast increasing spread of cancer is the way we are using pesticides, mindless use, and the harm they are causing. This has to be understood. And the scientist has to educate the people in this regard. I was informed that IRE has released several bio-fortified maize hybrids rich in lysine, tryptophan and provitamin A and pearl millet, lentil varieties rich in iron and zinc. This indeed is a step in the right direction for making India nutritionally secure. I am also happy to note that the Institute has developed several high-yielding mustard varieties which will help in cutting down the edible oil import bill. Thus, with these cultivars, I am confident that India will achieve the target of sustainable developmental goals. As we are all aware, climate change has emerged as a serious threat to agriculture. Climate change-induced rise in temperature and changes in rainfall pattern are adversely affecting agriculture. Many a time, the terminal rains are creating havoc by destroying the crops ready for harvest. This is an unfortunate situation. Added to the adverse market conditions and exploitation of the farmers, we also have the natural calamities because of the climate change and because we have neglected nature. So my advice to all the citizens of the country, including youngsters, is love and live with the nature. Love and live with the nature. Nature, culture together for better future. You have to understand this and propagate and practice this. Assessing methane emissions from paddy plants is one of the Institute's most outstanding achievements, which can be helpful in protecting India's interest in climate change negotiations with the United Nations. There is a need to analyze the effects of climate and generate technology for climate-resilient agriculture and enhance the captive capacity of farmers. My dear sisters and brothers and youngsters, we are now in the era of smart agriculture. Application of digital technology, remote sensing technology, sensors, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and molecular genetics will immensely help in fostering cutting-edge innovations. The focus of every scientific endeavor has to be on improving the lives of the people. Research and science for what? Technology for what? To improve the living condition of the people. Not only to add to the prosperity, but also to add to the happiness of the people. Mere prosperity alone will not bring you happiness. Something else. So we need to, science and research, innovations, they should focus more on this. The Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi has given a three-line advice. He said reform, perform and transform. Transformation of the nation, that is the need of the hour. Transformation in every walk of life, particularly in agriculture. This is the priority that has to be taken up. The focus of every endeavor has to be on improving the lives of the people, particularly the marginalized sections, and increasing development is the need of the hour. Therefore, I urge you to lay emphasis on enhancing the productivity of small and marginal farmers. As you are all aware, the small and marginal farmers are the most vulnerable to agrarian challenges and their welfare must be accorded highest priority. कृषि जनगणना के अनुसार भारत में कुल कृषि योग्य जोतों की संख्या 138.35 138.35 मिलियन है, जिनका औसत क्षेत्रफल 1.15 हेक्टेयर है। इन जोतों में से 85% वो सीमांत तथा लघु जोतों है, जिनका क्षेत्रफल पर हेक्टेयर 2 हेक्टेयर से भी कम है। ये छोटी जोते जिनमें महज 44% 44% क्षेत्र फल पर खेती होती है, देश की खाद्यान्न और पोषण सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करती है। So we have to focus on those small and marginal farmers and holding. However, these small farmers have limited access to technology, inputs, credit, capital and market. Hence, it becomes incumbent upon every stakeholder associated with agriculture to work for improving the lot of small and marginal farmers. It is a matter of pleasure that IRA has established a state-of-the-art plant phenomics facility named as Nanaji Deshmukh Plant Phenomics Center, which has dedicated to the nation by the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Bhai on 11th October 2017. Machine learning and artificial intelligence-based analysis are being employed to provide impetus to genetic improvement towards more crop per drop in major food crops. I am told and also pleased to note that an innovation center is being developed on this campus to foster innovation, including grassroots innovations. Farmers should be motivated and facilitated to join experimentation at research institutes. They must also be guided for obtaining patents and IPR rights. किसानों को लाना है, नहीं तो आपको वहां जाना है। केवल लैब में बैठ के रिसर्च करने से फायदा नहीं होगा। जब ये लैब का जो विज्ञान खेती में पहुंचना है और किसान तक पहुंचना है, इसलिए मैं चाहता हूं जो पब्लिकेशंस आप लोग कर रहे, अभी भी प्रकाशित किया और कुछ पब्लिकेशंस को मेरे द्वारा विमोचन करवाया। ये पब्लिकेशंस ज्यादातर भारतीय भाषा में होना चाहिए। हिंदी में होना, तेलुगु में, तमिल में, कन्नड़ा में, मलयाली में, मराठी में, असम में, पंजाबी में, कश्मीरी में, डोगरी में, उर्दू में। कारण क्या है, किसान अंग्रेजी जानता नहीं। ये विषय हम जानते हैं, फिर भी हम लोग, कारण क्या है, शुरुआत ऐसा हो गया एक कॉलोनियल माइंडसेट के कारण से। इसलिए मैं सभी इलाके में सबको कहता हूं, भाई प्राथमिक प्राइमरी एजुकेशन मस्ट बी इन द मदर टंग। Initially, the young minds will be able to grasp and articulate in their mother tongue. That's why I always tell 4 things. Mother, who has given you birth, forever remember mother. Mother includes father also. Woman, na, W-O-M-A-N, man hai woman mein. Second is Janma Bhumi, the place which has given you the birth, beautiful opportunity. Should never forget your Janma Bhumi. Even if tomorrow some of you scientists want to go abroad, go. Earlier I used to advise, no, be here. But now we have enough population, you want to go, go. But you want to go, but I have a 3-line advice to all of you, whoever want to go. Learn, earn, and return. Come back to serve the motherland. That is my advice to all of you. The third thing is mother tongue. जो भाषा माँ का गर्भ से आया, मातृभाषा, उसी में घर में, आपस में, आसपास में उसी भाषा में बोलना चाहिए। ये बहुत जरूरी है। कारण क्यों? भाषा और भावना एक साथ चलता है। आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट इंग्लिश, लर्न इंग्लिश ऑल्सो, बट रिमेंबर मदर टंग इज लाइक योर आई साइट, द अदर लैंग्वेज आर लाइक स्पेक्टिकल्स। आंख है तो चश्मा काम करेगा, आंख ही नहीं है तो आप रेबॉन ग्लास पहनो, जुबान से कुछ आएगा नहीं रेबॉन ग्लास पहनने से। तो दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिमेंबर मदर टंग, एंड ऑल्सो स्लोली आई वुड लाइक द कंट्री टू प्रोवाइड अपॉर्चुनिटीज फॉर द चिल्ड्रन टू लर्न primary education, then higher education, then college education, then research. Everything should be done in their respective languages and also English. Don't be under the false impression without knowing English we can't go up. You can go up. God has not put any restriction about any language. Anybody can go up also. Once the expiry date is over, he will take you automatically without restriction. France, Russia, Germany, many of the countries, they have education in their mother tongue. And some of the countries are doing research in Sanskrit, in Vedas, in Shastras. And we try to neglect our Indian languages. So try to learn Indian language also. And slowly publications, if you want to reach the masses, it has to be in the respective Indian languages. Not a big thing nowadays, you have translation system. People do not have translation system, but you have to create translation system and bring publications in the respective Indian so-called vernacular languages. The central government took a historic step last year to honor 12 farmers with Padma Shri awards for their path-breaking innovation in agriculture. Such recognition should uphold the morale of innovative farmers and entrepreneurs. सरकार भी आजकल ज्यादा ग्रामीण इलाके के ओर और कृषि के ओर ज्यादा ध्यान दे रहे, और भी ज्यादा ध्यान देना है। सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को भी देना, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को भी देना, कृषि विज्ञान केंद्रों को देना, और बाकी सभी संस्थाओं का प्रायोरिटी कृषि, ग्रामीण विकास, इसी के बारे में ज्यादा ध्यान देना चाहिए। जैसा मैंने कहा, 60% आर स्टिल डिपेंडिंग ऑन एग्रीकल्चर, एंड द प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर आर इंक्रीजिंग. It is becoming unviable and people are leaving agriculture and moving on. If more people move out of agriculture, then what will happen? So imagine that situation. And that's why I am very happy that the Prime Minister and the government have taken a policy to recognize Padma Award, the prestigious award for bringing something good to the people. So this, giving Padma Awards to किसानों को भी Padma Award से पुरस्कृत करना, ये बहुत जरूरी था। ये काम हो रहा है, इसलिए मैं उससे भी बहुत खुश हूं, मन में आनंद। अरे पद्मा अवार्ड नॉर्मली आपको मालूम है, दिल्ली में टॉप लोग, जिसको लाइटर विन में कहते हैं ना, जो रूटीन जोन में रहते हैं ना, हम लोग जैसा, उस इलाका को रूटीन जोन कहते हैं, नहीं तो खान मार्केट, इन्हीं को ज्यादा मिलते थे पहले। अभी धीरे धीरे रिकॉग्नाइजिंग द अनरिकॉग्नाइज्ड, funding the unfunded, reaching the unreached, that has become the policy. It's a good thing. So we also should try to reach the farmers. आज जब सरकार आगामी कुछ वर्षों में किसानों की आमदनी दुगनी करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है, आवश्यक है कि कृषि उत्पादकता बढ़ाने के लिए समन्वित प्रयास किया जाए। सही नीतियां, तकनीक तथा समन्वित संस्थागत सहयोग कृषि क्षेत्र में आमूलचूल बदलाव लाने तथा उसे स्थायी रूप से लाभकारी बनाने के लिए आवश्यक है। I always been stressing on the need for diversifying traditional cropping patterns, as it would reduce economic risk while increasing the scope for higher profitability. इसके अलावा समेकित कृषि, जिसमें फसल, मछली पालन, सब्जी उत्पादन, पशुपालन जैसी विभिन्न कृषि संबंध उद्यमी शामिल हो, कृषि क्षेत्र में साल भर रोजगार और आमदनी उपलब्ध करा सकते हैं। पारंपरिक फसलों से अलग कृषि में विविधीकरण का तथा कृषि से संबंधित व्यवसाय किसानों को वो सक्षमता प्रदान कर सकते हैं जिससे वे किसी प्राकृतिक अनहोनी का भी सामना कर सके। यद्यपि 311 मिलियन टन का फल और सब्जी उत्पादन का लक्ष्य अपने में उल्लेखनीय है, लेकिन कोल्ड स्टोरेज, खाद्य प्रसंस्करण उद्योग तथा विकसित वैल्यू चेन के अभाव में अभी तक इस क्षेत्र में पूरी संभावनाओं का उपयोग नहीं किया जा सकता है। There is a need for cold storage, more cold storage in every tahsil of the country. Refrigerator vans to transport onions in Nasik are 1 rupee, onions in Delhi are 30 rupees. Potato in UP interior, very cheap, but potato here, very costly. Potatoes are cheaper, potato chips are costlier. They import our potato and we import their chips as if we are not able to. When you can produce computer chips, you can't produce potato chips. Research. 10 रुपया किलो आलू और 400 रुपया ये वेफर लहर है चहर क्या है कुछ है उनका क्या हो रहा है? Why are we not focusing on this? Value addition. For that, as I was telling, all this infrastructure is required. Tomatoes in my area, sometimes the kilo is 1 rupee. And tomatoes in Mumbai, in Bengaluru, in Hyderabad, in Delhi is 30 rupees, 25 rupees. And tomato ketchup. Tomatoes are plenty, getting spoiled. Tomato ketchup, tomato going out, coming as a ketchup, and then chup chop, आप लोग उसी को पूरा खा रहे. So this is another area where we can produce good tomato ketchup, value addition. And then horticulture has to be focused. Then dairy is one activity where we made considerable progress, but we must have backroom poultry and backyard dairy also. This also should be encouraged. I am sure that the schemes proposed in this year budget, one district, one product, Kisan Rail and Kisan Udan for speedy transport of perishable products, online organic market will provide fillip to horticulture sector. सरकार के द्वारा प्रारंभ की गई विभिन्न योजनाओं को जैसा प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना, प्रधानमंत्री कृषि सिंचाई योजना, हर खेत को पानी पर ड्रॉप मोर क्रॉप, सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड तथा इनाम आदि सभी योजनाओं को कृषियों के लिए एक बेहतर भविष्य सुनिश्चित करने का उद्देश्य ही प्रारंभ किया गया है। मगर इसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इन स्कीम्स का रीचिंग आउट टू द लोअर लेवल, दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट. A vital contribution of national importance by this institute has been the development of neem-coated urea. Just now it was explained. Neem-coated urea. An innovation. This increases nitrogen utilization efficiency by 10% compared to uncoated urea. With the government making the use of neem-coated urea mandatory, the farmers are saving 10%. And government also is saving. Because most of the subsidy that is given by the government of India in the name of fertilizer subsidy used to go to industries, used to go to diverted to chemical industries. Now it is neem-coated, it will not be fit for chemical industry. So there is no shortage. Earlier there used to be queues, lathi charge for urea. And people used to stand up and line up previous day evening itself for their turn to get the fertilizer and particular urea. Now, thanks to this idea that has been addressed. I am also happy to note that the new scheme called Pradhana Mantri Kisan Samman for assured income support to the farmers have immensely benefited around 12 crore farming families. मुझे हर्ष है कि खेत से बाजार तक की सुदृढ़ और सक्षम सप्लाई चेन सुनिश्चित करने के उद्देश्य से आवश्यक आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर विकसित करने के लिए प्रधानमंत्री किसान संपदा योजना बनाई गई है. यह योजना न केवल खाद्य प्रसंस्करण उद्योग के विकास के प्रेरित करेगी बल्कि किसानों को बेहतर मूल्य सुनिश्चित करेगी. निस्संदेह किसानों की आमदनी दुगनी करने की दिशा में यह महत्वपूर्ण कदम है जो ग्रामीण इलाकों में रोजगार पैदा करेगा, कृषि के उत्पादक की बर्बादी को रोकेगा तथा प्रसंस्कृत खाद्य के निर्यात को प्रोत्साहित करेगा. So that's why these schemes are very good and these schemes need to be reached to the people and they have to be made popular, and they have to be implemented with all the spirit. That's what is required. So कृषि को लाभकारी बनाना ये बहुत जरूरत है. इसके लिए आवश्यक इकोसिस्टम आर्थिक परिवेश बनाया जाना चाहिए. कृषि आधारित उद्यमों को विकसित करने के लिए कृषि संबंधी इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर को सक्षम बनाया जाना जरूरी है. मुझे हर्ष है कि एरी ने इस दिशा में प्रयास किया है तथा युवाओं को प्रशिक्षण के लिए तथा कृषि आधारित उद्यमों को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर की स्थापना की है. कृषि अनुसंधान अतिरिक्त शिक्षा और प्रसार के क्षेत्र में भी एरी का भूमिका अभिनंदनीय है. कृषि अनुसंधान और तकनीकी विकास के क्षेत्र में इस संस्थान के वैज्ञानिकों, छात्रों और अन्य कर्मचारियों को अनन्य योगदान सराहना करता हूं. I would like to compliment all the people, from the researchers to the almost ordinary so-called employees here, lower level. I would like to compliment each one of them for the great effort they are putting in and the great service they are rendering. So I would like to once again congratulate the students who have completed their MSc and PhD degrees, and also the medal winners. And also I would like to compliment the director of this institute, and also I would like to compliment the Minister for Agriculture and his deputy for taking initiative in trying to make agriculture more profitable, sustainable, and for having better coordination with various research institutes. As I have outlined some of the challenges before us, I hope all the institutions like ARI will continue to serve the nation through scientific advancements and innovations in agriculture. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Dean ma'am, please, for words of thanks.